Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to show you the actual cost for $20,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 77-year-old female. Now, first thing I recommend is you go to our website at funeralfunds.com. We've got these quotas on just about every page, and select the state that you live in. We're licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount, enter your birth date, all that other info, click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies with the lowest pricing. And what that will do is that will help you avoid all the scammy stuff you see on TV where they advertise really low rates on TV or magazines or stuff like that. And then you call up and you find out it's almost no coverage at all, and then they try upselling you. It will also help you eliminate those 2-year waiting period plans that are about 200% more expensive in many cases than first day coverage. So you can also call us at 888-862-9456. We can help you out with all of that as well. Now, the first thing a 77-year-old female should be asking themselves if they're looking for $20,000 worth of insurance is that $20,000 going to be enough for their final expense needs? Now, if you are looking for that, typically that's going to be a cremation or a burial. But if you're looking for a cremation, the average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That is where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. So we would typically recommend around $5,000 to $7,000 for that level of coverage. And the reason is, I mean, you might be going, well, $5,000, that's more than $2,000 of the cost, right? But you're 77 years old. What happens if you live to 87? We know things are going to be more expensive. So we always like to get a little bit more insurance in there just to inflation proof your plan. And most people would go with 5,000 to 7,000. But if you wanted 3,000 or 4,000, we could certainly help you out with that too. Now, if you wanted a cremation in some sort of ceremony, a celebration of life or remembrance ceremony, that's typically going to cost around $3,500 to $4,500. And we would typically recommend maybe $7,000 to $10,000 worth of coverage. Again, we can adjust that number up or down based off your income. But if money's a little tight, get a little bit less, because we can always add more coverage later. Now, one thing we don't recommend in so many cases is getting really high amounts of coverage. Sometimes people say, well, I want $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 because I want to leave some money behind for my kids or family or something like that. And we would suggest that at age 77, that's probably the wrong time to be shopping around for massive amounts of insurance to give away. Probably should have been something you took care of sooner. And the reason we say that is most of the people we help are on a fixed or limited income, and just it's awful to see somebody go, well, if I can't get $40,000, I'm not going to do anything at all. It's just too expensive. I'm not going to do anything at all. $40,000 when they could afford $10,000 or $15,000. But if you don't do anything at all, you just saddle your family with this debt, and they're going to have to pay it anyway. So don't be selfish that way. Just get what you can afford. We can always help you add more coverage later. Now, if you're going to be buried, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. So if you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States right now with a $10,000 check, they'll get things done. It's not going to be anything fancy by any means, but it's hard to imagine they would say no to that and let you walk out the door and take that check down the road to one of their competitors. Just understand that's going to be a very simple funeral, not very frilly at all. So typically we would recommend for a 77-year-old, typically between 10 to 15,000, maybe up to 20,000, but that just depends on your budget. And if all you can afford is 10,000, get that, because that takes care of the most immediate need right here and now, and you can always add more coverage later. But one thing we always do recommend is getting first day coverage or benefits. And we do not recommend 2-year waiting period plans at all. I'll talk about that in a minute. First day coverage, what that means is hypothetically, if your policy were approved and issued today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would write that check for $20,000, which is what you want. You want first day coverage. Now, a lot of times people will say, well, I like the first day coverage, but I'm not in the best of health, so I'm not even sure I'll qualify. And we say, well, that's our problem, not your problem, at least from an insurance perspective. That's why we work with so many different insurance companies. They all ask different health questions. They all have different underwriting. And 95% of the time, we're getting people first day coverage or benefits. So let us do the worrying about that, and you don't worry about that at all. Really, the only reason you wouldn't qualify for first day coverage is if you had some really significant health issues going on, like you had a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months, or you had dementia, or you were on dialysis or in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd probably refer you out to a different insurance company. The other thing that seems to happen every week is we get a call from somebody and they say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week. They didn't have any insurance. We don't have any money. The body's down at the funeral home. The funeral home director's not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance right now so that we can get a check from the insurance company to pay the funeral home director. We have to let them know that there's no insurance company. There is no insurance company in the United States that's going to issue a policy on somebody who's already died. You have to get this insurance while you're alive. And it's terrible. It's absolutely awful that this person that supposedly cared about their family never got this taken care of. They probably were going to take care of it at some point in the future, but they never did. And now they're going to burden their family with this debt. And most families can't afford this, so they're going to end up putting on a credit card. Now they're paying 26% interest rate. And it's just taking families years and years and years to pay this off. And do you want that to be your legacy, that every time your name comes up, people go, loved him, loved her, but they left me with all this debt and I'm still paying it off. That's not a great legacy to leave behind. So don't be that person. Get this insurance. It's affordable. If you need to start small, we can help you. We can always add more coverage later. Now, one thing we don't recommend is the plans with 2-year waiting periods. And Colonial Penn has one of those plans. Their $9.95 plan. I bet you didn't know it, but that's a 2-year waiting period plan. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Now, they're not the only company that offers 2-year waiting periods. Let's see, Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber. There's so many other companies. The only thing they offer is 2-year waiting periods. And a lot of these companies have done a tremendous job of convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we say, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Don't believe such nonsense. Now, one thing that, our 77-year-old female, she's probably thinking, watching those TV commercials, that she can probably get, like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000 for $9.95. And then she goes on and talks with the Colonial Penn agent, or goes online and on their website, like we've done here, and finds out that for a female age 77, 1 unit of coverage, which is $9.95, is only going to pay out $689. And I don't know about you, but I don't know of a single place in the United States that will even do a cremation for $689. And it really doesn't matter, because the policy has a 2-year waiting period and it's not going to pay out for the next 2 years anyway. Yikes. Yeah. So a lot of people would say that, companies out there that offer low teaser rates don't do it to sell you the teaser rate. They do it to get your information and get you online and try to upsell you and sell you more coverage, knowing that that little teaser rate is totally inadequate coverage. And we would never accuse Colonial Penn of doing that, but you may want to formulate your own opinion on that. But let's take a look at what kind of coverage we could get here. So the challenge with Colonial Penn is they max out at 15 units worth of coverage, which is not going to be $20,000. I can guarantee that. Look at that. They max out at 15 units, which is $10,000 and $10,335. Evidently, that 335 is pretty important for something. But with Colonial Penn, for a 77-year-old female, you cannot buy 10,000 because they sell by units, because the only reason they can get that per unit pricing is selling by unit and come up with an arbitrary number. And then you end up with these wackadoodle numbers like 10,335. But let's take a look and see what $20,000 worth of first day coverage would be. So here we go, $20,000 for a female age 77. Get quotes. We're going to click that. We'll come back here. This is $10,000 for roughly $150. And if you look at here, we've got a number of different insurance companies right around the low 160s. you can get first day coverage. So really, essentially, for within $10 or so of Colonial Penn, you can get double the coverage. So Colonial Penn is almost 200% more expensive, almost 200% more expensive than first day coverage. Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever get a policy that was almost 200% more expensive and it's going to sock you with a 2-year waiting period? I do not know. I don't understand. You need to be a smart consumer, and we can help you be a smart consumer. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look at some other companies here. You'll be able to see all these different companies here. Lumico, 218. That is, if my math is right, that's roughly around $55 more a month. Times 12 months, that would be $660 more a year. After 10 years, Lumico would have overcharged you roughly $6,600 for the same $20,000. So yeah, you save money from the very first day. If you get the lowest pricing, you overpay every single month for the rest of your life just by getting a plan that's more expensive. So that's just being a smart consumer and going with a company like Funeral Funds that will actually shop around for you and help you get the best deal. Let's take a look here. Oh, here's another one, Lincoln Heritage. So they're a fine company, I guess, but look at that pricing, $240 roughly. It is level first day coverage, but Lincoln Heritage has a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2-3 different funeral homes, get the lowest pricing, may do a couple other things, but they don't do that for free. They charge for that, and you end up paying, and you end up overpaying. But that's like basically 240. Let's see, versus 163. So that's, I'm just going to round numbers. That's roughly $75 more a month. Let's see, times 12 months, that's roughly $1,125, I believe. Yeah, $1,125. So after 10 years, you would overpay roughly $11,000, $11,250 roughly by going with Lincoln Heritage. So a lot of people would say that that's a pretty dang good payday for the insurance company, that when you pass away, you're going to overpay. Like after 10 years, you'll overpay over $11,000. And all they have to do is make 2 or 3 phone calls and do a couple other things. Probably only takes an hour or so. So, yeah, we don't recommend overpaying. What we do at Funeral Funds is we provide a free funeral and estate planning guide. And what you do is you just download that off our website, print it out, fill it out. And just when you're filling it out, just put who gets what and what goes where and what you want done after you're gone. You can change that at any time in your life. You don't have to get the insurance company's permission to do that. And when you're done with that, keep it with your insurance policy, and you will have just saved potentially $11,000 if you live 10 years. So just print that out and fill it out. And when you're filling it out, write down who gets what and what goes where and what you want done after you're gone. And then keep that with your insurance policy. And there you go. If you live an extra 10 years, you just saved $11,000 from being overcharged on that $20,000 policy. So yeah, just, what a wonderful gift to leave behind. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind, that your family's going to know that you not only protected them financially with the insurance policy, but emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide, where they didn't have to worry about a thing. All they had to do is just follow your wishes and just execute everything that you listed in the funeral and estate planning guide. And they will have such peace of mind knowing that they don't have to worry about this, that they're doing the wrong thing. And also they will know that you love them so much in life that you even protected them in death, well in advance of your death. So what a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So go to funeralfunds.com. We do have a special quote for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube, where you can use a special quote to get the lowest rates and the best pricing. You can also call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456, and we can help you over the phone. Just understand what you qualify for or answer any other questions you have. But if you've got an existing policy and you want to price check it to see if you're getting the best deal, or you want to add coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you are looking at a brand new policy or just have any questions about what you might qualify for and what might be best, we can help you out with that. We look forward to helping you get the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money, and we will enjoy talking with you at some point in the future. But until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.